Hey, what's up everybody? Justin Myers back here with another video. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the instruments, the amplifiers, and the pedals that I have available for sale here in today's video. This is gonna be kind of a holiday Santa Claus blowout sale. So let me know if you guys are interested in any of this stuff. My personal email is jkm4231@gmail.com. It's gonna be linked down below in the description box. But let's go ahead and dive into the instruments that I have available here for sale. So the first one here is going to be a 64 Gibson Hummingbird. This is 100% original. There's no repairs, no bullshit, no neck reset, no loose bracing, no heel, no headstock crack, no nothing. It's all 100% perfect, and it's one of the nicest vintage hummingbirds I have ever seen. It's a 64, so it's got a great neck profile. It's very light and very resonant, and it is literally 100% original. And it has the original case, which is over here. The only thing with the original hard shell case is that the original owner here looks like Guy Witt is what he went by. He had that little plaque installed on the actual case itself, but the case is perfect. It's in very clean condition. That's probably one of the cleanest hard shell cases I've ever seen too for a hummingbird. It's pretty crazy. But that guitar is gonna be $15,000. So there's that guitar. Now I also have here a 66 Fender Telecaster in blonde finish. It's 100% original. No bullshit, no routes, no anything going on with this. This guitar here is very light. It's only 6.6, 6.7 pounds. That's what I've been getting on the weigh scale with this guitar. It's very light, and the neck is just absolutely perfect. The pickups sound amazing. The only thing that I did to this guitar was I put on those Glazer saddles, but I have the originals in the hard shell case, in the original hard shell case. So this guitar here is 100% original. It even has the original paperwork that came with it. Even the actual ashtray is in the original plastic. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how clean this guitar is, and you know, literally everything comes with it. It's completely original. But this guitar here is going to be $22,000. Again, comes with the original hard shell case. And you know, folks, with this stuff, I would prefer to not ship it. If you really are interested and you really assume all the risk that comes along with the shipping, and you know, I am not in any way held liable for any damages that could happen in the shipping, I would entertain that idea. But I do want to take the time to mention that, you know, if you guys are, you know, say 6 hours away from Nashville, I actually would be willing to personally drive and deliver these instruments to you guys, rather than taking the chance of UPS or FedEx really effing up these instruments or the amps or whatever. It's just a lot better. You know, for me to do it, I would definitely want to be doing, you know, significant business to make it worthwhile and worth my time. So, but I do want to just throw that out there. You know, if you guys are interested, I would do that if we're doing enough business. But anyways, the next instrument is we have here the 63 ES-330. This guitar is 100% original, and the neck profile is exactly like a 64 neck profile. It is 100% original. There's no breaks. There's no modifications going on here with this guitar. It's just absolutely perfect. Even the neck here is very clean. There's no headstock fracture, no anything. So this is a really cool guitar here. And once again, it does have the original hard shell case. So really beautiful 330 there, cherry with nickel parts. And that is going to be $12,000. $12,000 on that. And the original case is over here. So there's that. And actually, I do have one more instrument available here for sale. And that is this 63 SG. You know, it's really technically called a Les Paul, but as we all know, it is an SG. I currently don't have this guitar on hand right now because it just needs a little bit of love. I wanted to rewind the bridge pickup because the bridge pickup was just a little weak in this guitar. So I'm having that done, and I'm getting it refretted as well. But that guitar is 100% original. There's no repairs. There's no modifications outside of the bridge pickup rewind. And it's really cool with this guitar. It has the original hard shell case here. And I wanted to show you this here because I thought it was pretty cool. But the original owner here actually has a photo of him. This is a one-owner guitar before me. This photo was dated to January of 1964, and this is when he bought this guitar brand new. So I thought that was really cool. And inside the case here, I have the original nylon saddles that's in this little pouch here. And then I also have the original case key as well, which is pretty cool. And there's some other photos there of him playing, which is pretty awesome. So this guitar here, I do have somebody interested in it already, but I do want to just throw it out there in this video. This 63 SG or Les Paul, quote unquote, is going to be $20,000. And if you guys want to see any photos of anything, you know, I'm more than happy to take photos. You know, I'd be more than happy to send you an email with all the information and all the photos and stuff. So, you know, feel free to hit me up on the email there. It's all good. So that's that there. That's going to be $20,000 on this. And this is a 63 SG or quote unquote Les Paul. Now I also have here a collector grade condition 64 Deluxe Reverb. And this amp here is going to be $6,000. This thing is just in mint condition. Like I say, it's in collector grade condition. It's got the original transformers, the original speaker. It just sounds amazing. So that's going to be $6,000. And, you know, with how good these instruments are and with how good that these amps are, folks, you know, these are amazing investments. You know, this stuff will just continue to rise in value. You know, so I'm in absolutely no hurry and no rush to sell any of this stuff. You know, if I'm not going to get the prices that I'm asking, I would rather just hold on to it because I know it's going to be worth way more in the future. So these are just my prices. I don't care what anybody's opinion is. I don't want to hear it in the comments. I really don't give a fuck. So these are the prices. So 64 here is $6,000 on this. And then here I have this 69 Marshall Basketweave 412 cabinet. These speakers are the 30-watt Celestians, the originals, but they have all been reconed. But this cabinet sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, you can plug in any tube amp to this cabinet and it will sound incredible. I mean, it just completely transforms the amp. And that's actually what I've been doing as of late is I take like a DSL 50 here and I run them into these old Marshall cabinets, you know, and it just really transforms the sound of the amp, you know, and this is so much more important than buying a new tube amp. I mean, it really is, you know, the speakers in the cabinet just make a tremendous difference. They are going to make a much bigger difference than that new Marshall amp that you're buying, you know. The old speakers and these old Marshall cabinets are just to die for. They sound amazing. But this cabinet here is going to be $5,000 on this. And due to the weight and the size of this thing, I really want to just do local pickup only on this amp or this cabinet. So there's that. And then I have a couple more amps here. I have this early 90s matchless DC-30. And this here is going to be $8,000. This is hands down the best Sampson era matchless DC-30 I've ever heard. And I've owned about 6 or 7 of these now at this point. And this thing just sounds absolutely amazing. It's in collector grade condition. And as you can see, it even has the original paperwork there with the spare tubes and stuff. It's just absolutely incredible. And this amp just sounds so good. This amp with a Fender Telecaster, it is just a magical combination. And, you know, Matchless makes the HC30, which is the head version of this amp. And, you know, I really feel that if you're going to go for this Matchless amp, you really need to have the DC-30 because these original speakers that Sampson designed to go with this amp are a huge part of the overall tone of this Matchless, this Vox amp sound. You know, it's really a one-of-a-kind, man. I mean, these speakers that he designed are just incredible. And, you know, I just kind of feel like if you have the HC30 and you're just running it into some run-of-the-mill guitar cabinet, whether it's a Bogner cabinet or if it's a Marshall or whatever kind of speaker cabinet you have, you know, it's really going to change the sound, and it's not really what he was going for, in my opinion. You know, these original speakers are absolutely essential to the sound of this amp. So I really feel the DC-30 is the one to get for sure. So this one here is also $8,000. And then we have this Fender Super Champ. This is an 84 Super Champ, and I'm asking $2,000 on this. This amp was designed by Paul Rivera, and these amps are just legendary, man. They just sound so good. There's actually 2 channels on them. The clean channel takes pedals very well, and the lead channel just sounds awesome on this amp too. And this is honestly one of my favorite amps for sure. I mean, these are all my favorite amps, which is why I have them. You know, and it's going to be really hard for me to let go of these amps, you know, because all of this stuff sounds so good. I mean, the 90s, the Sampson era DC-30, I mean, this is hands down the best Vox I've ever owned, hands down. The 64 Deluxe Reverb is hands down the best one I've ever owned. I mean, all of this stuff is so good, so I'm sure I've repeated myself a lot in this video, but, you know, it just is what it is. You know, you just can't keep everything, so... this is a Fender Super Champ though, so this is $2,000, and it's totally original, sounds excellent. Then over here, I have a 63 Fender Blonde Bassman. This is all original, and really sounds great. I had it serviced by Todd Sharp and his guys there, and when I got it serviced, they had told me that, you know, this is one of the best Blonde Bassmans that they've ever heard, and, you know, they service so many amps, man, it's insane over there. So I thought that was a really cool comment, but... this is all original, and these Blonde Bassmans are just to die for, man. They sound excellent. This amp here is going to be $2,800. So if you're interested in that, again, jkm4231@gmail.com. And then down below there, I have a bunch of guitar pedals. I haven't really thought of a price on these. So if you are interested in this, you know, feel free to just make an offer. Obviously, don't waste your time lowballing me, because I know what the stuff is. You know, it's taken me many years to collect this stuff, and, you know, to be honest with you, I really find that pretty offensive. So just don't bother lowballing me on this stuff. I know what it is, and once again, you know, I could very easily just hang on to this stuff, and it'll just continue to rise in value. So really good stuff though. You know, the Boss CE1, Univox Super Fuzz, that's a 73 Ram's Head Big Muff Pi, Tube Rotosphere, which is my favorite Leslie, Boss VB2 over there, and then the old rats, so the fringe logo, the white face, and then the other rat there, but it still has the same chip, and then a collector grade condition strip logo Phase 90, and the first version OCD by Full Tone Effects. So there's that there. And then the last thing here is my pedal board. This has been my main pedal board for many years now at this point, and I've officially decided to sell off this board. And you can see here all of the pedals. So just to go through the chain, it's just the guitar goes directly into the Peterson Strobostomp, out of there into the original Ross compressor from the 70s, then a strip logo Phase 90 from the 70s, a V1 RC boost, a Ram Nobles ODR1, which is hands down the best Ram Nobles I've ever played. I've tried a lot of Nobles from other players on their pedal boards, and this Ram Nobles just absolutely smokes their Nobles. It's not even a comparison. This thing is hands down the best one. I actually had collected about 15 of these Nobles, and I literally sold all of them except this one, because this one was just so special. It is so good. There's just a little bit more mid-range and a little bit more gain in comparison to those old Nobles, you know, and the old Nobles are just really all over the place. I mean, they are like insanely expensive now. But, you know, a lot of them had the pots switched around, so they have like next to no gain, and a lot of them just sound like shit, to be honest with you. So I think they're really hyped up, but this Ram Nobles really does sound excellent. So out of there into the King of Tone by Analog Man, then the Boss GE7. The Boss GE7 goes out into an interface that is on the side of the board there, which has a post insert. So what's really cool with this is that, say if you wanted to add like a rotary or a chorus or something, and you wanted to just patch it into your pedal board, but you want it to be after your drive section, after the Boss GE7, you could simply just take your pedal and power it by a 9-volt DC cable there off the interface, and also patch it into the send and the return. So it's basically as if the pedal were actually on the pedal board going after the Boss GE7. So it's really cool. And then we come out of that post insert back into the Strymon Flint, and then we go stereo out of there into the stereo in of the JHV3 modded M9, and then we go stereo out of there into the interface. So what's really cool with this board is that you could run 2 amplifiers. So normally for me, what I would like to do with this board is I would run like a Fender Deluxe Reverb and an AC15 or a matchless DC30 with a Deluxe Reverb, or, you know, whatever you kind of want. And for that Nashville sound, man, it's pretty much exactly what you want. I mean, this is like the ideal pedalboard setup. So that's how I thought of this when I designed this pedalboard. But then also this pedalboard comes with a Pelican case as well. So that case is all foamed out to fit this pedalboard. And what's cool is you could throw cables and a power cable and stuff underneath the board, so it's all in one case. And Pelican just makes hands down the absolute best cases ever. So this whole pedalboard setup is going to be $5,500. Once again, $5,500. And if you are interested in this, hit me up. My email, once again, is jkm4231@gmail.com. You know, some really great stuff here, folks. So once again, my personal email is jkm4231@gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Hey folks, so I just realized that I forgot to mention these instruments as well. So this here is a Fender Custom Shop. This is basically brand new. I've taken it maybe on one run, and that's pretty much it. But this thing is really nice weight, nice neck. This is a Fender Custom Shop. It's a Relic Fender Custom Shop Telecaster, and this is gonna be $3,500 on this. And then I also have this Fender Road Worn Telecaster, which is excellent. And this here is a first generation. So this here is going to be $1,100. I just put on the Joel Glazer saddles there on this guitar as well. So really cool guitar. The necks on these are just excellent. So first gen Road Worn Fender Telecaster there. So $1,100 on the Road Worn and $3,500 on the Custom Shop. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.